If you follow my channel on a regular basis, the first minute of this video will be retelling a story you've already heard, but then we'll jump into what's happening now. So technically this is not a sinkhole, but it may as well be. What you're seeing right now is footage from a couple months ago when I was digging a borrow pit. And if you're not familiar with that, I've explained it in other videos, but essentially I'm harvesting a desirable soil type and replacing it with a less desirable soil type. I've done this several times on my property, and all of the other times I filled that hole back in the next day and went right on with my business. And in this case, I didn't do that, and it's really come back to bite me because I let it rain a few times with that hole open. The real mistake was not just that I allowed it to rain in the hole, it's the decision not to pump it out before filling it in. I knew it was a mistake, and I did it anyway because I didn't think it would be that bad. One reason I didn't pump it out is because I didn't own a pump that would have done it, but it would have definitely been worth going and buying one or renting one or whatever, because I actually could have pumped this water into the pond, which is nearby and low. But I kind of thought I could just work all the water out of this hole and it would run down the hill and out of the way. And that sort of worked, but I ended up driving out onto it after I was completely done filling in the hole, and I sunk like a rock. And I didn't immediately react by pushing myself out, and once I had sunk far enough, there was no way I could push myself out, because this isn't regular mud, it's a hole with no bottom. Now luckily for me, all my neighbors have big machines, and it was no big deal to get pulled out. Now you're seeing me fill in the hole where I got stuck, and then I have a lot of excess dirt to remove because trying to fill this in without sinking in, I used a technique called bridging, where I just kept pushing more and more dirt out into that giant hole, and it worked right up until it didn't. But now I'm trying to flatten this out and get it back to usable ground. Now, since I got stuck, it's been almost a month, and in that time, we have not had a drop of rain. So I figured this would be pretty well dried out. And I was wrong. And that's what today's video is about. What you're about to see is that after all that time, this didn't dry out, and I'm not sure how to get it to dry out. I've got a couple ideas, but I'll show you guys what we're left with and see what you think about it. And if you're just here to tell me that I don't know what I'm doing and I've got no business running a skid loader, I criticize myself enough for both of us, so it's really not necessary. But if it makes you feel better, you can do it anyway. It's more dramatic in person than it is on video, but I'm sure you guys can see that this soil is really pumping. What you can't see is how far out it pumps whenever I drive over it. And I was kind of skeptical, but I thought maybe if I just drive over this 1,000 times, it'll pack down and I can put more dirt on it, but that was not working. Basically, you can't put pressure on every spot at once. It's like a slow-moving waterbed. So, tell me in the comments if you've ever experienced this before or what you did about it. So I'm in a lucky situation that I don't need to use this area. I can allow it time to dry out and then track it in again, then let it dry out again and then track it in again until it's fixed. But I'm also wondering if it would be worthwhile to try to dig this whole section out and then fill it back in with dry dirt. I'll give it some thought and I'll read your comments and make a decision. But if this was a critical work area, I would have really messed it up because we wouldn't be able to use it right now. So anyway, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.